This week we're going to look at multiplying a decimal by a decimal. Last week we were focused on multiplying a decimal by a whole number, but this week we're going to focus on multiplying a decimal by a decimal and when we might need to do that. So if we just look, for example, at our bar of chocolate we have here. Bar of chocolate is split up into 10 different squares and each square is 0.1. So, or 1/10, and all of those pieces are exactly the same. Okay, so if I have my bar of chocolate on Saturday evening or whatever, and I just decide I'm going to eat 2 squares of the chocolate on Saturday evening. Okay, so then I'm left with 8 squares. So I'm left with 0.8 of my bar of chocolate if we added them all together. But then my friend comes over and we're sitting on Sunday evening and I decide I want to give him half of my bar of chocolate. So I want to give him half, which when we talk about decimals, a half is equal to 0.5. So I want to give him half of my 0.8 of the bar of chocolate that I have left. And we know that of is the same as multiply. And this is where we would get a sum where we need to multiply decimals. So if we do that, we just line the sum up as we did last week. 0.5 multiplied by 0.8. 8 multiplied by 5, or 5 multiplied by 8 is 40. Put down my 0 and carry my 4. 8 multiplied by 0 is 0. And put down our 4 that we add on. So on the second line then, we put in our 0. 0, 5 is 0, and 0 by 0 is 0. Now we can do that and add it all together, but when we're multiplying by 0, essentially we don't need to do that line. So we can just take that line off it because it's not going to change our answer. So our answer is 40. Now when we multiply decimals, we said last week, we don't worry about the decimal until the end of the sum. So let's have a look at the numbers now that come after the decimal. Here we have one number in 0.5 and we have another number in 0.8. And then the numbers that come after the decimal point in the sum must be the same as those in the answer. So I have 1, 2 numbers here, which means I must have 1, 2 numbers here. So my decimal point goes in there. So the answer to our question, 0.5 multiplied by 0.8 is 0.4. So we will get 4 pieces of the chocolate each. So I'll get that section, 4 pieces, and my friend will get that section. And that is exactly the same. So we got 0.5 or half of what was left each. So if we just look at a couple of other examples that you may see. So let's say we had 1.84 and we want to multiply it by 0.3. Again, when we multiply by decimals, we're going to ignore the numbers that come after the decimal point for now or all that. We're just going to do the sum as normal, forgetting the decimal points. 3 4s make 12. I put down my 2 and carry my 1. 3 multiplied by 8 is 24 and 1 makes 25. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3 and 2 makes 5. And again, we could do our line of zeros, put down our 0 multiplying by our second number, and then we go 0 times 0, and we could do 0 4s, 0 8, and 0 times 1 is 0. We could do that, but we're not going to bother. Okay, so we're left with 5, 5, 2. Now, we need to figure out where does our decimal point go. So again, the decimal point after the sum, the numbers that come after the decimal point in the sum must be the same as in the answer. So we have 2 numbers here after, and we have 1 number here, which means we need to go 1, 2, 3 numbers across and put in our decimal point. So the answer to that sum is 0.552. And our final example today is 3.7 multiplied by 4.2. Okay, so here we go. 2 multiplied by 7 is 14. I put down my 4, I carry my 1. Again, I'm ignoring the decimal points until the end of the sum. 2 3s are 6 and 1 makes 7. Then I'm going to multiply in the bottom second row, so I always put down the 0 first. 4 7s make 28. Put down my 8 and carry my 2. 4 3s are 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. And I'm going to add those together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 8 plus 7 is 15. Put down my 5, carry my 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. And 1 plus 0 is 1. Now, let's go back up to our sum. How many numbers come after the decimal point in the sum? 1, 2. So our answer must be the same. 1, 2. We put our decimal point there. So 3.7 multiplied by 4.2 is 15.54.